This is all you need to know about parasites. Will you get them? How do you get them? Who's more susceptible? My name is Dr. Olivia Joseph. I've been a functional medicine practitioner for 20 years. I am co-founder of the Wellness Connection, which is where I practice along with a functional medicine team. And I'm also the founder of Dr. Olivia Naturals. They're supplements that I have created to help people like you with a lot of your health issues. So let's get right in and talk about parasites. How common are they? Who gets them? Well, anybody can get them, but people who travel internationally, people who swim in lakes, people like children are a little bit more prone. People who have animals that sleep in their bed are more prone. So you see there's a lot of people out there that can get a parasite, right? Parasites can come in our body in a variety of different ways. Most common way is by mouth, but there are other access points for parasites. I'm sure you know this because children can get pinworm. So what's pinworm? They scratch their butts and the little parasite eggs stay under their nails, and then they touch something and then everybody's got pinworm, right? That's more common in children, but you can also get parasites from eating raw fish. Now fish, such as sushi, that's been frozen, that will kill off the parasite, or fish that's fully cooked, that will also kill off the parasite. But you can also get parasites from organic vegetables, particularly organic vegetables that you eat raw that are maybe international, because in the United States, we have different sanitation standards than a lot of other countries. So the most common place you're getting exposure to a parasite is in fecal matter. That's how you're getting that. So how do you know if you have a parasite? So here's a little trick. When you have blood work done, check your CBC. Parasites typically cause eosinophils to elevate. So eosinophils should be 2 or less. A lot of people that have parasite-like symptoms tend to have much higher eosinophils. I also see eosinophils elevate sometimes with bacterial overgrowth in the gut or significant food sensitivities or environmental allergies. But what we know that if a parasite raises an eosinophil, it's increasing inflammation, but it's increasing your allergic response to everything. So you tend to be more sensitive when you have a parasite. The other thing we know about if you have parasites is they can really disrupt your immune function. So we've seen people more susceptible to mold exposure and even Lyme disease when they have a parasite. So having a parasite does impair immune function. So how do you know if you have a parasite? How do you know if your immune system is functioning properly? You can do a stool analysis. So I look at things like fecal zonulin, which tells me if you have leaky gut. I look at your immunoglobulins within your gut. That's how your immune system is functioning. That's immune function. And you can test for parasites, yeast, and bacteria through a stool analysis. So sometimes when we have the right symptoms, exposure matchup, we do a fecal analysis. Now, as a functional medicine practitioner, we work a lot with gut health, so we do a lot of stool analysis. And I will tell you, I see a lot more bacterial overgrowth than I see parasites. So they're not as common as a lot of people think. But of course, anybody and everybody can get a parasite. As you've heard, it doesn't matter how old you are, if it's from food, if it's from swimming, if it's from your pet, if it's from international travel. Those are just some things that'll make you more susceptible to that parasite. But what's really cool is if you do a stool test, you know what type of parasite it is. So usually we could figure out where you got exposure from it, but most importantly, we want to get rid of it. So I will tell you, there are a lot of things in nature that are anti-parasitic that are very helpful. Sometimes parasites can be a little tricky and you have to treat them for longer periods of time than you would something like bacteria or even yeast. So you have to watch out for that. And one of the things I'll do is I will go ahead and repeat CBCs to see what those eosinophils are doing. It gives me a good picture of how well we're getting rid of those bugs. It is possible to have a parasite and have a negative stool test. One of the reasons that is parasites live on your intestinal wall. They're parasitic, they're attached to that intestinal wall. But we also test for eggs and ova within the stool so that we're not just looking for the parasite itself. We're also checking for the eggs that haven't quite hatched. I know that sounds terrible. I have heard people say that around full moons, their sleep is much worse, their belly issues are much worse. A lot of people that have parasites, especially kids, sometimes have a little bit of a distended belly. And if you do see, I know it sounds a little hokey, but if you do see that your child is not sleeping well when there's full moons, complaining of belly issues, has that distended stomach, it might be worth checking for parasites. Stool analysis is non-invasive. We're really not going to catch a parasite with any other type of testing. So some practitioners use what are called provoking agents. They do something to provoke the parasite before they test. You can do that. You could do a regular stool analysis. There's a test out there called parasitology that's a little bit more comprehensive. What makes it more comprehensive is it's multiple stool samples, not just one. That increases the likelihood of you catching approaching it, right? There are really some great ingredients out there, some amazing gut health protocols that help with so many things, not just parasites, but also yeast overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, help with your short chain fatty acids, help with leaky gut, help with your probiotics, your prebiotics, your digestive enzymes. So when it comes to natural healthcare or functional medicine or integrative medicine, there's so much amazing stuff you can do out there with the gut. And when your gut's healthy, your brain's gonna be healthier. When your gut's healthy, your hormone health is gonna be better. Your immune health is gonna be better. Your brain neurotransmitters are gonna be better, which impact things like mood. So gut health is so important to so many things. And having a parasite can really disrupt a lot of systems of the body. But what can make you more vulnerable to a parasite is if you do not have healthy digestive enzymes or enough hydrochloric acid in your stomach. That makes it so the parasite is more likely to survive gastric transit. Well, that low enzyme production would also make you more prone to digestive issues like IBS or IBD, gallbladder issues, acid reflux, indigestion, heartburn, bloating, just to name a few, because that environment is supposed to be acidic and kill parasites or kill things that shouldn't be going into the gut. When you don't have enough acidity or enzyme production, you're more prone to those things, including parasites. So if you're watching this, you might think you're struggling with a parasite, some gut issues, maybe even some hormonal health issues, immune issues. Feel free to reach out to my team at the Wellness Connection. I have an entire functional medicine team that would be happy to work with you and get you to the right testing so we can figure this out together.